Have you ever wondered if your partner's phone habits could be a sign of infidelity? We live in a world where our lives are deeply intertwined with technology, and our phones often hold the key to many aspects of our lives. It's no surprise then that changes in phone habits can potentially indicate deeper issues in a relationship. Today we're going to explore this topic in detail. We'll look at how shifts in phone usage, secretive social media activity, unexplained texts and calls, hidden apps and secret folders, inconsistent stories, overly protective behavior, and unusual phone location changes can all be red flags. But remember, these signs are not definitive proof of infidelity. They're just potential indicators that something may be amiss. It's always crucial to approach these situations with understanding and open communication. So buckle up and prepare to uncover the mysteries that a phone can hold. Stay tuned as we delve into the different red flags that you should be aware of. First and foremost, let's talk about shifts in phone usage. It's quite common for us to spend a significant part of our day on our phones, whether it's for work, staying connected with our loved ones, or simply passing the time. However, sudden changes in phone usage patterns can sometimes raise eyebrows. You see, our phone habits can tell a lot about us, and any noticeable shift could potentially signal something is amiss. Let's say, for instance, that your partner, who usually isn't glued to their phone, suddenly starts spending an excessive amount of time on it. They're constantly typing away, their screen always illuminated, and they seem to be engrossed in whatever they're doing. This could potentially be a red flag. On the flip side, if your partner, who is typically active on their phone, suddenly becomes less engaged, it could also raise questions. They're not responding to your messages as quickly as they used to, their social media activity has dwindled, and their phone seems to be more of an afterthought than a constant companion. This too could be a potential red flag signaling a shift of interest. However, it's crucial to remember that these changes can also be due to a multitude of other reasons. Perhaps your partner's work demands have increased, leading to more time spent on business emails and calls, or maybe they're dealing with personal stress and are using their phone as a distraction, or conversely, are avoiding it to reduce noise in their life. It's important to approach this with understanding and not jump to conclusions. Communication is key here. If you notice a shift, open up a dialogue about it. It's possible that there's a simple explanation, and discussing it can help clear the air and strengthen your bond. So, a sudden shift in phone usage is a potential red flag, but remember to consider other factors as well. Next, we have secretive social media activity. Now, this is a realm that can be a little tricky to navigate. It's a fine balance between respecting personal space and identifying potential red flags. Let's consider a situation. You've noticed that your partner has become increasingly private on their social media platforms. They're not sharing posts with you that they used to. Their profiles, which were once an open book, have suddenly become a fortress of privacy. It's natural to wonder why. Social media is a digital extension of our lives, and when someone we're close to starts to become secretive about their online activities, it can be a bit disconcerting. It might be a sign of infidelity. They could be hiding posts, comments, or messages from someone else. However, and this is crucial, it's important not to jump to conclusions. There could be many reasons behind such changes. Perhaps they're planning a surprise for you, or they've simply decided they want to keep some aspects of their life private. Remember, everyone has a right to privacy, even within a relationship. It's important to respect that. However, if the secretive behavior is combined with other signs of infidelity, such as shifts in phone usage or unexplained texts and calls, it could be an indication of something more concerning. It's always best to approach these situations with understanding and open communication. If you have concerns, express them to your partner in a calm and respectful manner. It's only through open dialogue that you can truly understand what's going on. Secretive social media activity can be a red flag, but it's also important to respect each other's privacy. It's about finding that balance between understanding, respect, and vigilance. After all, relationships are built on the pillars of trust and communication. Let's move on to unexplained texts and calls. Imagine this. It's past midnight. The room is dimly lit, and you are all snuggled up in bed. Suddenly, your partner's phone lights up, casting a glow across the room. An unknown number, a text or a call, especially at such an odd hour, can certainly raise your curiosity and possibly your anxiety. But before you jump to conclusions, let's take a step back. Our digital world is vast, and our connections are numerous. It's not uncommon to receive texts or calls from unknown numbers, telemarketers, or even wrong numbers. Therefore, it's essential to not let a single unexplained text or call drive you into a pit of worry. However, if these unexplained texts or calls become a pattern, it's only natural to feel concerned. Are these calls always at odd hours? Are they frequently from the same unknown number? Does your partner seem anxious or secretive when they receive these calls or texts? These could potentially be red flags, but remember, it's crucial to maintain trust and not invade each other's privacy. Snooping on your partner's phone is not the solution. Instead, open communication is the key. Express your concerns calmly and honestly. If there's a reasonable explanation, this honest conversation can help alleviate your worries and strengthen your bond. Yet, if your partner becomes defensive, dismissive, or continues to provide inconsistent stories, it might indicate there's more to these unexplained calls or texts. At this juncture, it's important to assess your feelings and decide how to proceed based on what's best for you and your relationship. Unexplained texts and calls can raise eyebrows, but it's important to communicate and trust each other. Now that we've discussed the different red flags, let's summarize. We started with shifts in phone usage. This can be a subtle change that may slip under the radar. Your partner may suddenly start spending more time on their phone, or maybe they've begun to keep it with them at all times, even taking it to the bathroom. Perhaps they're suddenly draining their battery faster than usual, or their phone is always on silent. These changes could potentially be red flags, indicating that something may not be right. Next, we talked about secretive social media activity. When your partner seems to be hiding their online interactions, it might be a cause for concern. This could be anything from sudden changes in privacy settings, frequent clearing of browser history, or an influx of new unknown friends. They might also be overly concerned with tagging, liking, or commenting on others' posts, or maybe they're unusually active during odd hours. Then we moved on to unexplained texts and calls. This is perhaps one of the most direct signs. Are there calls from unknown numbers at odd hours? Are there names you don't recognize popping up often? Maybe there are hushed conversations, or they leave the room to answer certain calls, or perhaps there are text messages that just don't add up. But as we've discussed these potential signals, it's crucial to remember that these are just possible indicators, not definitive proof of cheating. It's essential not to jump to conclusions based on these signs alone. Trust and open communication form the bedrock of any relationship. If you notice these red flags, the best course of action is to address the issue calmly and honestly with your partner. It's vital to discuss your concerns, express your feelings, and listen to their side of the story. Rushing to judgment or snooping around can lead to a breach of trust, which can be even more damaging to a relationship than the initial suspicions. It's also important to remember that there can be many innocent explanations for these behaviors. In the end, we're all human and we can all change our habits for a multitude of reasons, so it's crucial to approach these situations with understanding and open-mindedness. Remember, these are potential red flags and not definitive proof of infidelity. Always communicate openly with your partner and maintain trust in your relationship.